Good afternoon, dear students. My name is Dr. Shuaib Bhat. I am working as Assistant Professor in the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So today in this video lecture, we shall be discussing reading comprehension strategies for English language learners. Reading comprehension strategies. What are the different reading comprehension strategies which an English language learner must have or must know before learning a language or while learning a language? So we shall be just deliberating on these different reading comprehension strategies, different reading comprehension approaches, which are important for every English language learner. And these strategies, these approaches, they're playing a vital role in the life of or in the career of every English language learner. So we shall be discussing on these things. Let's first go with the introduction. So, in the diverse landscape of today's classrooms, we see educators. They encounter students with varying interests, varying levels of proficiency in English language. There is a varied or nuanced level of proficiency of students when it comes to English language learning. Because we see when we go to the classes to teach language, particularly English language, we see there are students who are always struggling with the pronunciation. There are students who are struggling with the grammatical structures. There are students who are struggling with the vocabulary. And sometimes there are students who are intelligent, who are good at all the different domains which I counted. Sometimes we see students good at pronunciation, good at vocabulary, good at grammatical structure, good at sentence structure. So what I want to say, in today's scenario, in the world, in the contemporary world, we see people, or especially English language learners, they're having varying levels of proficiency, different levels of proficiency. Now, for English language learners, the journey to academic success often hinges on their ability to comprehend and engage with English texts effectively. Now, for the people or for the students who are learning English language, the journey of their academic success, it often hinges on, it's often dependent on their ability to comprehend and engage with English texts effectively. English language learners, their academic growth, their academic success, it is dependent on their ability to comprehend and engage with English texts effectively. How effectively you are engaging yourself with an English text is going to define your academic success when you are an English language learner. So when it comes to English language learning, you will see in this English language learning, the academics which deals with the English language learning, its success is based on the student's involvement, engagement, and his or her ability to comprehend a text and engage with English texts effectively. So, reading comprehension, which is a fundamental skill in academic achievement, it poses unique challenges for English language learners. Reading comprehension, which is a fundamental skill in academic achievement, it has posed unique challenges for English language learners. Because see, reading comprehension is checking your reading skill. So when you are reading anything, when you are comprehending anything, it's not only you are reading and that's it. That is the whole process of reading comprehension. No, you read, you think about it, you understand it, you evaluate and analyze it, and finally you respond to it and you accept it. This is what reading expression is. Reading comprehension is. That's why reading comprehension is called a fundamental skill. So, and it poses a unique challenge for English language learners. So this necessitates the implementation of targeted strategies which are designed to enhance their understanding of written material. Now, by just knowing all this thing, that varying proficiency levels are there, students' ability, engagement, involvement with the text is necessary, reading comprehension is necessary, it is the fundamental skill. So all these things, they just throw us to such a realm where we can understand that implementation of targeted strategies are important to enhance the understanding of written material. The students who are learning English language, so they need, or it is the need for them to implement some targeted strategies which are designed to enhance their understanding of written material. So if you are a language learner, it's not like only you need to go through the speech drills. It's not only like you should be given proper education only for the speaking or only for the listening. No, reading also comes in it. So in order to learn English language properly, we need to implement these targeted strategies so that the students can enhance their understanding of written material. Now, in this lecture or in the upcoming slides, we delved into key reading comprehension strategies tailored to support the linguistic and cultural needs of English language learners. In this upcoming lecture, we shall be talking about key reading comprehension strategies. Because if you see the title, it is reading comprehension strategies. So we are focusing on reading comprehension strategies. How reading comprehension strategies are going to help English language learners. So that's why I'm telling you that in the upcoming slides, we shall be discussing key reading comprehension strategies, and they are tailored to support the linguistic and cultural needs of English language learners. So these strategies are going to support the linguistic and cultural needs of English language learners. And they foster not only language proficiency, but also academic empowerment. These reading comprehension strategies, which I'm going to discuss with you, they're not only fostering language proficiency, rather academic empowerment. So through a multifaceted approach that encompasses encompasses pre-reading, during reading, and post-reading strategies. These are the strategies which I'm going to discuss with you. Pre-reading strategies, during reading strategies, post-reading strategies. So with the help of these strategies, educators can create inclusive learning environments. With the help of these strategies, educators, mentors, language teachers, they can create inclusive environment. For what? For enhanced comprehension. This inclusive environment will bridge language gaps and pave the way for enhanced comprehension and literacy development among English language learners. So these strategies are going to bridge the language gaps, because there are language gaps are there in between the people. Now, if you learn English language, it's a global language. It's being spoken around the globe. You can communicate to the people who are having different languages. So this language gap will be cemented if we follow these strategies. And it's going to pave the way for enhanced comprehension. And they will also help us. They are also important for enhanced comprehension. Let's see what are these general strategies and tips for improving reading comprehension among English language learners. Let's see. So, the first thing which I discussed with you, which I told you I'll be discussing, that is pre-reading strategies. What are pre-reading strategies? Activate prior knowledge. First thing I want to talk about, activate prior knowledge. In pre-reading strategies, the first thing which I want to discuss with you is activate prior knowledge. What do I mean by the activation of prior knowledge? That is, we should encourage students to connect new information with what they already know, with their existing or prior knowledge. And this can be done through brainstorming, concept mapping, discussing related experiences. So during the first pre-reading strategy is activate prior knowledge, consult prior knowledge, reference prior knowledge, go back to your prior knowledge. So when you are going to teach anything in the class regarding language, so because you are teaching these language learners who are coming to you for English language learning, it's always better when you are introducing any element, any component, any event or any topic, it's always better you activate students to go back to their existing or prior knowledge. So when you do so, you will see the students will find that there are certain transitions. Now from the previous knowledge, they will switch to the new information which you are going to deliver to them. And they will see there is a smooth transition. The prior knowledge is going to back them, support them in order to accept this new information, in order to understand it, in order to just uncover different secrets which are there in this new information which you are going to teach to them. What you have to do for that, how can you activate, how can you throw your students back into the prior knowledge? You can go with the brainstorming, concept mapping, or discussing related experiences. When you discuss related experiences related to the new concept, new topic. For example, you are going to teach morpheme, or you are going to teach stress or voice modulation. So when you speak something which is related to voice modulation, you start talking about tone, you start giving examples like, better tell me, when you are hungry, when you ask your mother to give you food, what is the tone which you are using there? Now tell me, when you are going to any office and you are asking for the permission, what is the tone you are using there? When you are giving commands to your juniors, what is the tone you are using there? So when you discuss related concepts, or when you do concept mapping, when you remind people of different concepts regarding that concept which you are going to teach, when you brainstorm, when you just ask questions, so this is the way you are going to activate prior knowledge among these English language learners. Then the next point is preview text. What does preview text mean? Teach students to preview the text before reading. This includes looking at headings, subheadings, and any visuals to get an overview of the content. Remember, we are discussing reading comprehension strategies. That's why the whole focus of the lecture is on reading strategy. So what you need to ask these English language learners, one more thing you can ask them. Preview the text. What does that mean? You can ask your students to preview the text before reading it in detail, before going with the detailed reading, before going with intensive reading, before going with critical reading. Tell your students to do the previewing, to do preview. So now what they have to do for previewing? They can simply read the headings. They can read the subheadings. If there is any visual in the form of picture, in the form of map, in the form of diagram, tell them to go with that diagram, that map, or that picture. If there is any graph, any data, tell them to go through that data or go through that graph. So by checking all these details, by going through the headings, subheadings, by going through the visuals, your students will get an idea what is the whole content about. Previewing is important. See, I'm giving you a text that's totally unknown to you. You may be having some apprehension regarding the text like this. I cannot decode the text because it is something new and it has been given to me right at the spot. So such apprehensions, such fear becomes an obstacle. And you know, obstacles, they stop us to do something. Unless and until we find some remedy for the obstacles. So it's always better to go with the previewing. Previewing will give you an idea. What is the topic about? What is this chapter about? And you will train yourself. You will make your mind that you have to study, that I have to study about voice modulation. And you will get to know, or you will carry different things, different equipments for that text if that requires. Like dictionary, like other things. Then the next point is during reading strategies. Now, what are during reading strategies? What should we follow during reading? It's better use content clues. Teach students to use content clues to infer that meaning of unfamiliar words. So content clues. For example, there is a word which you cannot understand. In a line or in your text, there is a word which you cannot understand. Now you don't have dictionary or there is nobody to help you. You can use context clues. You can see in which sense the word has been used. You can see what are the other words speaking and how has this word been adjusted there in a sentence. These are context clues. So these are the clues, these are the hints which you can get from the context. So during reading, there is one reading comprehension strategies which helps English language learners to learn the language better. That is to use context clues to infer the meanings of unfamiliar words. When you encounter with any unfamiliar word, you can infer its meaning, you can get its meaning with the context clues, as I told you. For example, there is a word which you cannot understand. So, for example, there is this word you cannot understand the meaning of clue. Now, when you read the whole sentence, you read like this: teach students to use context clues to infer the meaning of unfamiliar words. So, this sentence, it hints you, it gives you a stimulus that there is something which is regarding hint, regarding signal. Then, this involves looking at the surrounding words and sentences for hints. And what does this involve? How can you make correct context clues? You can look upon the surrounding words. What are the different words used along with that word which you found unfamiliar? And you can look upon the different sentences for hints. Sometimes you cannot understand a sentence. So what you have to do, you can read other sentences. Sentences before that sentence, sentences after that sentence, so that you can make a logical clue, logical hint in order to understand that sentence. This is what do we mean by context clues. Then we have another reading comprehension technique which we require during reading. That is chunking text. What does chunk mean? Break down the text into smaller, manageable chunks. Portion, part, piece. So it is always better to chunk down the text, break down the text in small pieces. And these pieces should be manageable pieces, which you can manage. So what will happen with this? You can focus on understanding one section at a time before moving on. For example, there is a chapter which contains 10 pages. And these 10 pages, they contain 20 paragraphs. Now, you are such a person, you cannot focus on all the 20 paragraphs with a single sitting. You cannot read all the 20 paragraphs at one time. So you can chunk it down, you can break it down, you can make parts. You can make your mind, okay, today or this time I am going to read 5 paragraphs out of 20. Evening I am going to read 5 paragraphs. And on the other day, I will be finishing 10 paragraphs. So by chunking the material, you are finishing it in 2 days. Now, if you do not chunk it, and you are a person who cannot read all the 20 paragraphs at a single time, so you will be the victim of procrastination. You will leave the work, you will postpone it. Okay, I'll read it tomorrow. Tomorrow you will be having another, again, the same idea. 20 paragraphs, it's boring to go with 20 paragraphs. You will again procrastinate it. So as long as you are procrastinating it, you are delaying it, you will reach to a time when other works are more prior, when other works are more important than this reading work. So it's always better to chunk the material so that you can focus on a particular area before switching to the other chapter or before switching to the other paragraph. Then there is another technique which we require, that's ask questions. What does this ask questions mean? Encourage students to ask questions while reading. This helps them stay engaged and promotes a deeper understanding to the material. It's always better. It's one of the reading strategies for English language learners. When they are reading any material, it's important for them to ask questions. Because when you are asking questions, it lets you to stay connected with the text. It makes you conscious regarding the text. When you ask questions, you can demystify different confusions which you have regarding the text. There will be an active engagement of when you are asking questions with the text. So asking questions, we should always encourage students to ask questions while reading. Why? Because it will help them to stay engaged and it will promote a deeper understanding on the material. For example, there is a concept you couldn't understand it clearly. What will you do? There are two things. Either you will leave it or you will ask a question. If you leave it, you are at loss. If you leave it, you cannot get the exact information. When you ask questions to your mentors, to your teachers, they ask you, they provide you the easy answers. They provide you elaborations. And when they provide elaborations, you get deeper understanding of that concept. So the next reading comprehension strategy is to ask questions. When you ask questions, you stay connected with the written material. When you are connected with the written material, you will get deeper understanding of the concept. And when you get deeper understanding of the concept, you will learn something. And that something is your language which you are learning. Then summarize information. Another important point is summarize information. Now, after reading a section, have students summarize the main ideas in their own words. Now, when your students, they are finished with one section, with one paragraph, one chapter, make them to summarize this chapter in their own ideas. It will strengthen their comprehension and helps with retention. Another reading strategy for English language learners is this: when they are done with the written material, when they are done with the reading, so they can do one thing, they can write the summary of all the ideas in their own words. So when they are writing summary, it will strengthen their understanding, it will strengthen their comprehension. It is very simple. You read a chapter, you got main ideas. Now you are summing up those main ideas in your own language. You can only sum up when you have understood it well. And when you are deliberating on those assimilated topics, understood topics, obviously you are getting more comprehension. And it will also help you with retention. Because now you are writing, you are summarizing them. So you are writing those things which are stored in your mind. And when you are deliberating on the things which are in your mind, obviously there would be the retention. Permanent retention will be there. If not permission, long time retention would be there. You will retain this information in your mind for the longer period of time. Then the next point is visual aids. During reading, we should pay attention to visual aids. What are visual aids? Utilize visual aids such as diagrams, charts, illustrations. These things are very important. When you are reading a text, if there is an image, it is rightly said by someone that an image is 100 times better than an image is better than 100 words, or it is better than many words which you speak, because sometimes you are not able to speak those things which an image can reflect. Though the image is silent, I would like to quote Keats, I cannot stop myself, when he wrote Ode on Aggression Urn. That shows that art is permanent. Writing is an art also. Whenever you are writing or you are making, you're drawing any picture, that's an art. He talked about art there. And there is one thing where he says, heard melodies are sweet, while those unheard are much sweeter. Pardon me, I included literature here, but it has a relevance. He gives an example, or I would like to give an example. If there is a concert going on, or a concert is about to happen at night, some famous singer of your area is coming, who speaks in your mother tongue. He is having a huge fanship. He sings well or she sings well. So people will be crazy to listen to that singer. And when you are the part of that concert, when you listen that concert, after 1, 2, 3 days, 4 days, 1 year, 1 month, 2 years, that excitement and enjoyment, it disappears from your mind because you got busy with other work. Now the same singer, his poster is posted somewhere, having mic in the hand, and all the people, musicians, they are having those drums and violins, guitars, they are having in their hands on in that poster. So they're about to play. So you just see, when you look upon that poster, you will always think, yeah, now what will he sing? Okay, what is he going to sing? That's art, it's permanent. It never fades. You will see that person always about to sing. But once it happens in the real life, once the person sang a song, that's over. So that is the quality of these visual aids. And that's what Keats said. Heard melodies are sweet, while those unheard are much sweeter. So visual aids, diagrams, charts, illustrations, they support your understanding. They provide you extra information. And human mind is very different. We accept, we find these things very easier, which come to us in a visual form. And visuals can provide additional content and make abstract concepts concrete. These visuals, they make all our concepts concrete and abstract. Then post-reading strategies. There are some post-reading strategies which we need to know. These post-reading strategies are reflect on understanding. So once students have to reflect on what they have learned after reading. When we talk about the reading strategies which English language learners need, so there is one post-reading strategy, that is reflect on understanding. It means all the students have to reflect on what they have learned. And this could involve, how can you reflect? You can discuss with your friends. You can discuss the key points with your partner, or you can provide a short summary of all these details. Number one. Number second, vocabulary review. What is vocabulary review? So review and reinforce key vocabulary from the text. You can review and reinforce the key vocabulary from the text. What are the key terms? What are the different terms? What are the new words? What are the difficult words which you encounter in the written stuff? You can review those words. You can review that vocabulary, and when you revise it, there are chances you can retain them for the long term. And this can be done through activities like word matching, creating flashcards, incorporating new words into sentences. These are the activities by which you can do this vocabulary review. Like word matching, you are matching the words according to the spelling or pronunciation or something else, or meaning. You are creating flashcards, you are incorporating new words in the sentences. Sentence making is a good thing. You encounter a new word and you start making sentences on that word. So you are getting two things. You are getting a lot of things. Sentence structure you are getting. Grammatical structure you are getting. Vocabulary you are getting. And all these things are going to help you to learn a language. Connect to personal experience. How can you, what does this mean, connect to personal experience? Encourage students to relate the content to their own experience. So it's better to encourage students to relate all these things to their own experiences. Because see, we are humans, and this is very human. When we find something is related to us, we are having some sort of relation with certain activity. We find that activity interesting, and there are chances we can learn that activity well. And we pay much attention to that activity. So this personal connection, it can enhance comprehension. When you are having this personal connection, it will enhance comprehension and make the material more meaningful. Building academic vocabulary. What is this building academic vocabulary? So focus on key terms. We need to focus on key terms like identify and explicitly teach academic vocabulary related to the content. It's always better for an English language learner student to identify and explicitly teach academic vocabulary related to the content, because this helps students navigate complex texts more effectively. When you teach English language learners different vocabulary, when you show them how to identify different words, obviously they will be navigating all the texts more effectively because they are having a treasure of words. Then word walls. What is word walls? Create a word wall in the classroom with key terms and their definitions. You can create a wall which you can give it the name word wall, and you will write key terms on this wall with their definition. This is another way to learn, to memorize, to understand, to know different key terms. And this will become a visual aid. It is a visual aid. And it will help you as a reference and reinforcement tool. Then, include interactive reading activities. Read alouds. So conduct regular read aloud sessions where the teacher reads a passage and students follow along. This helps improve. Read alouds means it will also give a visual this impression to the students. So an activity should be conducted in the class where a reader reads something loudly and students are following him. By doing this activity, your students are going to improve their pronunciation, your students are going to improve their listening skills, and your students are going to improve their comprehension skills simultaneously. Then peer discussion. What's peer discussions? So facilitate peer discussions about the reading material. This allows students to share their perspectives. Students should be given a chance for peer discussion so that they can deliberate on different topics, they can clarify doubts, and they can reinforce their understanding through conversation. Cultural sensitivity. Incorporate culturally relevant texts. Cultural sensitivity is also important for reading strategy. Among the reading strategies for English language learners, it includes texts that reflect the cultural background and experience of English language learners. Incorporate culturally relevant texts means include texts that reflect cultural background and experiences of English language learners. Different English language learners who passed away and who are done with the learning, we should incorporate those texts which include their cultural history and their background and their experiences. It will enhance engagement and make material more relatable. It will enhance their engagement. Discuss cultural nuances. Take time to discuss cultural nuances, idioms and expressions found in the text. You should also take time to discuss cultural nuances. Idioms because they are outcome of culture. Expressions found in the text. This helps English language learners understand not just the language but also the cultural context of the material. So by doing this, students can not only learn the language, rather they can also learn the cultural context of that material. I would like to just take conclusion now. In conclusion, the journey towards proficient reading comprehension for English language learners, it involves a thoughtful integration of strategies. When we talk about proficient reading comprehension for English language learners, it involves thoughtful integration of strategies that address linguistic nuances, cultural contexts, and the strategies outlined. They provide a roadmap for the educators seeking to empower their, and all these strategies which I discussed with you, they are helping educators, also the learning people. So, but they are helping educators to provide a roadmap for these learners to learn English language well. So, as we embrace a diverse and multicultural educational landscape, obviously we are having a diverse, multicultural landscape of the learners. So, these tailored approach not only facilitate language acquisition but also contribute to a deeper appreciation for the rich tapestry of global literature. These things will not only help students to acquire language only, but also it provides a deeper appreciation for the rich world literature. So by fostering a supportive or inclusive learning environment, educators, they play a pivotal role in unlocking the full academic potential of English language learners by paving the way for a future where linguistic diversity will be celebrated as a strength in the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. This is all for the lecture. I hope you all have understood well. If you want extra information about this lecture, you can consult these sources. You will find something which is useful for you. So I would like to stop here. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.